Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're re-swapping the hustle and bustle of the city for the gentle hum of the British countryside. We're going on a special kind of treasure hunt, not for gold or jewels, but for some of our most fascinating and often overlooked native wildlife, frogs and slow worms. Now, why these two creatures? Well, they're what we call indicator species. Their presence or absence can tell us a huge amount about the health of our local environment. Plus, let's be honest, they're just incredibly cool. So, grab your wellies, pack a sense of adventure, and let S dive into the wonderful world of herpetology, that S, the study of reptiles and amphibians. First up, let's talk frogs, specifically the common frog. You've probably seen them. It's maybe in your garden pond or hopping across a damp path after a rain shower. These guys are true champions of the amphibian world. They start their lives as tiny tadpoles, wriggling in the water. Before undergoing one of nature's most incredible transformations, finding them is all about knowing where to look and when. The best time of year is definitely early spring, usually from February to April, depending on how far north you are. This is breeding season, and it's when frogs become much more active and vocal. You'll want to head to any body of fresh water you can find, garden ponds, ditches, lakes, slow-moving streams. Even a persistent puddle in a field can become a frog hotspot. Listen carefully. On a mild spring evening, you might hear a low, purring croak. That's the sound of male frogs calling to attract a mate. It's a truly magical sound, a real sign that spring has arrived. During the day, look for the telltale sign of frog spawn. It looks like a big clump of clear jelly with a tiny black dot in the center of each egg. Unlike toad spawn, which is laid in long strings, frog spawn is always in a clump. Finding it is a surefire sign that frogs are using that pond. If you're searching later in the year, after the breeding season, it gets a bit trickier. Frogs will disperse from the ponds and head into the surrounding landscape. Look in damp, sheltered places, long grass, log piles, under rocks, or within dense vegetation are all prime frog real estate. They need to keep their skin moist, so they'll seek out anywhere that offers protection from the sun and drying winds. A gentle and respectful approach is key. If you're turning over logs or stones, do it slowly and carefully. You're a visitor in their home. And always put the log or stone back exactly as you found it, so you don't destroy their shelter. If you're lucky enough to find a frog, take a moment to observe it. Notice its powerful back legs, built for jumping, and its big, beautiful eyes. But try to avoid handling them if you can. Our hands have natural oils and salts that can be harmful to their sensitive, permeable skin. If you absolutely must move one for its own safety, make sure your hands are clean and damp. Now, let's switch gears to a creature that's often misunderstood, the slow worm. First things first, despite its name and appearance, a slow worm is not a worm, and it's not a snake either. It's actually a legless lizard. How cool is that? You can tell they're lizards because, unlike snakes, they have eyelids that blink, and they can shed their tails if they feel threatened by a predator, a defense mechanism called autotomy. Slow worms are secretive creatures. They spend much of their lives underground or hidden away, so spotting one feels like a real achievement. They have smooth, shiny skin, usually a grayish or coppery brown color, and they really are quite beautiful up close. So, where do you find these elusive lizards? They love places that offer a combination of warmth and cover. Think of areas that get a good amount of sun, but also have plenty of places to hide nearby. The edges of woodlands, heathlands, allotments, and even compost heaps in a sunny garden are perfect hunting grounds. One of the best methods for finding slow worms and other reptiles is to look for things they might be hiding under. They're cold-blooded, so they need to bask to warm up their bodies. But being out in the open is risky. So, they often do something called cryptic basking. This means they'll hide under something that absorbs the sun's heat, like a piece of dark-colored corrugated iron, slate tile, or even just a piece of old carpet or roofing felt left in a sunny spot. If you have a garden or access to a patch of land, you could even create your own reptile refuge. Just lay down a few of these materials in a quiet, sunny corner and leave them undisturbed. After a few weeks on a warm but not scorching hot day, go and check them. Lift the edge of the mat slowly and quietly. You might be rewarded with the sight of a slow worm, or even a whole family, coiled up underneath. soaking up the warmth. Remember to place the cover back down gently. Like with frogs, it's best to observe without handling. They are completely harmless creatures, but they can be startled easily. They don't have a venomous bite. In fact, their diet consists of slugs, snails, and other garden pests, making them a gardener's best friend. By creating a habitat for them, you're not just helping the slow worms, you're also getting some free natural pest control. Why is tracking these animals so important? Because their populations are facing threats. Habitat loss is a huge one. Ponds are being filled in, wild areas are being developed, and our countryside is becoming more fragmented. Pollution and disease are also taking their toll. This is where you can become a citizen scientist. Organizations like the Amphibian and Reptile Conservation Trust and local wildlife trusts often run surveys. You can record your sightings, whether it's a frog in your pond or a slow worm under a log. This data is incredibly valuable. It helps scientists understand population trends, identify important habitats, and ultimately, put conservation plans in place to protect these wonderful creatures for future generations. Just by taking an interest, by going out and looking, you're already making a difference. You're connecting with the natural world on a deeper level. Every time you find a frog or spot a slow worm, you're reading a story that the landscape is telling you. A story of health, of biodiversity, and of the intricate web of life that exists right on our doorstep. So, my challenge to you is this. Next time you have a spare afternoon, get outside. Visit your local park, a nearby nature reserve, or even just take a closer look at your own back garden. Look for those damp corners, listen for the croaks, and gently lift a stone or two. You never know what you might find. It's a fantastic activity for all ages, a great way to get kids excited about nature, and a peaceful, rewarding way to spend your time. Remember the golden rules. Be gentle, be respectful, and leave no trace. The goal is to observe and appreciate, not to disturb. Let's all be guardians of our small, scaly, and slimy neighbors. They are a vital part of what makes the British countryside so special. Thanks so much for joining me on this virtual wildlife walk today. I hope it's inspired you to go on a real one of your own. If you do find any frogs or slow worms, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. What other British wildlife would you like to learn how to track? Let me know. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more adventures into the wild. See you next time.